So now we're going to take a look at code for doing cookies. So here is, do you want to look at the documentation first or just look at the code? Z, what do you want to do? Look at the code. So here we have stuff we're already familiar with, right? We have listen and serve, 8080, nil. And we have handle funcs, so different routes. It's going to run different code. So there's set, there's read. Making sure I'm recording. And when we set a cookie, these could be, of course, called anything. We do HTTP set cookie, and we add our response writer, and then we add a cookie to it. And so here it wants a pointer to a cookie, so I take the address of whatever's stored there by using the ampersand. How many people I just lost you because we spent about 20 or 30 minutes on that 8 weeks ago. How many people just got lost? Okay, so let's take a little gander. Golang playground. I have a variable. .42 type int, right? And if I put an ampersand in front of that variable, I get to see the address in memory where that value is stored, right? And so here, let me just do this too. Here, you can see I had that 42 in int, and I put the ampersand from it, and I could get the address with the ampersand. Here it gives me the address, and now I have a pointer to an int because I'm pointing to that location over there where an int is stored, so it's called a pointer to an int. You know, like here's the address where Todd lives. You're pointing to where Todd lives. It's a pointer to a Todd. It's not Todd. I didn't give you Todd. I gave you where Todd lives. Right? And so that's taking the address. And then you could dereference that. It's called referencing. You could dereference with, this is an operator. So this is part of the type, pointer to an int. This is an operator, so I could dereference and I could say, just give me the value there with that operator. And then that's going to give me the value at that address, which will be an int and 42. Right? So I'm now back to 42 and int. And you might ask yourself, can you do that all day long? I just asked myself that. Can I then take the address of all that? Right? We'll call this getting wacky. Yep. Can I then dereference that again? Do you see what I'm doing? It's kind of like I'm adding a plus sign, a minus sign, a plus sign, a minus sign over and over. And I just keep getting, you know, yep, right? But the thing that you want to remember is right there, okay? So here we're creating a struct, and this is a struct literal. So it's just like the literal value. It's an anonymous struct. That's the word I was looking for. We're not assigning it to a value. We're not assigning it to an identifier, a variable. So I could do this. All right, I can do that. What if I wanted to create another one? So this one here is HTTP cookie. This is what I'm looking for. Okay, so I could do it this way, right? Where I create person, I assign it to P, and then I put it here, which basically says take this, which was assigned to P, and put it here. Or I could just take this and not go through that step of assigning to P and just put it there, right? And then I have the same thing. Person first James, person first Jenny, right? I just didn't assign it to variable. It's anonymous. Anonymous. I think it's called a struct literal. I also think of it as anonymous because it doesn't have a name. I didn't give it an identifier. So anyhow, that's what I'm doing right here. Does that make sense? How many people know? How many people yes? Makes sense. Okay. Because we could also, we'll do this when we do a little bit of live coding next. We could also assign this to a variable and then, do that entire step in between. So I'm creating a value, which is a struct of type cookie. I'm creating a cookie. I'm giving it the pointer to a cookie. And my cookie, some value, and then setting the path. And then I'm writing cookies written, check your browser, and Chrome DevTools, go to this. And then I could read that cookie. I could request from the request. I could read that cookie. I could say, what's my cookie's name? My cookie, give me that cookie. And if I get it, it's assigned to C. Otherwise, I get an error. And I do status bad request, and then X out of this function. And then I print out that cookie. So let's see this run. Control C, current working directory, CD. I'm in 02901. And our paths are / and then / read. So first, well, here, security, cookies, and localhost. And if I look here in my browser, DevTools application, cookie application, I got to DevTools through shortcut key, more tools, developer tools right there. And you can see my cookie has some value. So my cookie was written. And if I go to read, what happens when the client goes to this URL? Making a request to the server. Server's going to respond. Well, the client makes the request to the server, and what's the client send with it to this server? Localhost. It sends the cookie with it. The server's going to process, read that cookie, and respond, create some page, and when it responds, that page it creates, it's going to write some value. Here's your cookie, some value. And if that cookie's not there, delete that cookie. I just deleted it with my key. I deleted it right there, hit the delete key. Now if I refresh, bad request, you don't have a cookie. Status code 400. How many people are like, I get it? Okay.